Friday nights in Northwest Georgia. Here, Michael Atwater, Mr. Lawrence Morgan, Northwest Georgia Football.us here. We're going to unveil tonight the Northwest Georgia. We're excited to bring it to you, the Northwest Georgia Power 16 poll. All the teams in Northwest Georgia from A to 6A, we're going to unveil that tonight. We're going to talk about some week 3 games and top performers, and of course do our predictions. We're live here at Pepperell High School, actually at the old Pepperell High School in front of the gym. Weather kind of has us under the little hood here. Lawrence, what struck you about week 3? Talk about week 3 football.
Week 3, the biggest surprise to me in week 3, which I guess actually surprised a lot of people. It didn't surprise us because we picked it. But right here, Pepperell High School upsetting the 6-4A champion Pickens County. I think I was more surprised at the offensive production that Pepperell had more than them, actually winning the football game.
Peyton Rhodes, that stud. Peyton had 4 receptions, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. They got a new quarterback, Mr. Shannon White. Yeah. Shannon White came in. He was 8 for 13, 127 yards for the Dragons. He ran for about 90 yards and another touchdown. Does Pepperell have a quarterback controversy?
I'm not sure why Shannon White was in the game. I didn't hear if Moses was still hurt from that Darlington game or if they were just going to try something new coming off the bye week. But, yeah, White had a great game.
And White's he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore here for the Pepperell Dragons. He came in and lit some things up for Pickens County, and now Pepperell has 2 quarterbacks. They got 2 good quarterbacks that they can play with, Shannon White, Gage Moses. What about the team right around the corner from here? The Darlington Tigers. They defeated Sonoraville 38-28. Colin Rogers ran for over 151 yards. Griffin Brewster threw 2 touchdowns. Does Darlington have enough to win the state championships in Class A private this year?
Darlington has enough to make a solid run for the championship in Class A. I think Class A private has so many big teams around the Atlanta area that's going to be hard to compete with.
Eagles Landing Christian,
Savannah Christian, Wesleyan.
Yes.
I mean, all those schools are loaded, and they have a larger population base to recruit players from.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Darlington, but they're looking strong right now. Darlington has a tough Region 6A. Most of the teams in Region 6A undefeated. Christian Heritage, Trine, Bowden. It's the SEC of Class A private football.
Absolutely.
Another team around here that bounced back on Friday, Rome High Wolves. Rome defeated North Clayton 63-6, which everybody pretty much know. Coach Reed and that Rome staff and those players were going to come back in this game fired up. Had over 300 yards of offense. E.J. Burke Lackey, he was a running back at Chattooga, 3 touchdowns, 115 yards. Talk about that Rome offense.
Man, the Rome offense is spectacular. I'm real curious to see what they do this weekend against that Kell defense, because Kell's got one of the best defenses in 5A. They held a 7A team last week to 67 total yards, shut them out, Lassiter. So it's going to be a game of great defense versus great offense, and whoever comes out on top.
Rome got that massive offensive line. See if those guys can continue. Let's go up north a little bit and talk about some teams that are still undefeated. Murray County. Murray County's undefeated. Murray County and Harrison County. Heritage, which will be here taking on Pepperell. Harrison County defeated Almercy 59-0.
Harrison County is a big team. I think that's probably, outside of Rockmart, the best and biggest team that Almercy's going to face all season.
Yeah,
they're averaging 280 across the line. They got 2 defensive ends that go about 6'1", 220. They got a 6'1", 220 quarterback that's supposed to be really good, sophomore, Clay Hyatt.
He had a couple touchdowns on Friday, as well as Calhoun with a shutout over Thurl, 30-0. A lot of people thought they should beat them 60-0. You don't have to blow people out to get your point across.
Thurl was coming in averaging 30 points a game.
Calhoun defense, I saw a stat on Northwest Georgia Football today. Calhoun has the #1 defense in Northwest Georgia. They've given up a total of 4 points.
To some very good offensive teams.
Yeah, so Calhoun is still the team to beat. The score that kind of surprised me because of the win before. 2 scores that kind of interact with each other. Callaway defeated my high school, LaGrange, 56-10. Tank Bigsby had an unbelievable performance. But Hateville defeated Heard County 61-7.
Yeah, I have to admit, after week 1, when I saw that LaGrange Heard County score, I thought, well, maybe LaGrange has gotten good. They're going to compete this season. They've caught up with Heard. But then Hurd goes in there and lays an egg against Hateville this week. And I'm thinking, well, maybe LaGrange isn't that good, huh?
It might not be, because Hurd evidently is not that good. Actually, a little secret, we were going to, if Hurd County would have won or been undefeated, we were going to Rockmart for our game of the week, Rockmart and Hurd County. But once I saw that score, once we saw the score, 61-7, man, you know, that Rockmart probably, which we'll talk about that game of the week coming up. Some more stuff that stood out to me, man. The Coosa Eagles, let me tell y'all something about the Coosa Eagles. Todd Wheeler has a young team, but Todd Wheeler and his coaching staff, they're doing a hell of a job there. They lost a close one to the Mount Zion Eagles, I think, or Mount Zion Bulldogs, or whatever, 22-21. That shows the maturation of that Coosa Eagles team. And I'm telling you, Lawrence, man, in about a year or two, Coosa, with all those young players, they got a lot of young receivers. Brevin Knight had a dual threat quarterback, over 100 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing. Couple of years, man, Coosa gonna be in, and Coosa may do something this year.
Right.
Coosa they got a lot of talent.
I mean, with the way all the other teams are playing in 7AA right now, you know, with the exception of Rockmart, Pepperell, maybe Chattooga, I mean, that field
Nobody
is wide
else has
open.
won a game.
That field is wide open at the bottom.
Everybody, with the exception, like you said, of Rockmart, Pepperell, and Chattooga, is winless in Region 7AA. But, you know, somebody's got to make the playoffs. We got to get a fourth team.
Got to get a fourth
out of that region.
And I think whoever finds their offense first, because I think all 5 teams that are competing for that one spot have great defenses. You know, it's just whoever finds that offense first is going to get that 4th place spot. I mean, because they're all struggling right now in the offense.
Yeah, they got to find something to get them going offensively, and you know, those games down the stretch are a Model Coosa, a Coosa Gordon Central, Dade Coosa,
Armurchie Model.
Even though those teams right now hadn't won a game, they're going to be some interesting games down the stretch.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Another big game this week was Lafette and Gordon Lee. It was a big-time rivalry. Lafette ended up winning that game 28-20. They got a big-time running back that Mr. Lawrence is going to tell y'all about, that ran for 176 against Gordon Lee. And Gordon Lee has some studs, but talk about the running back for Lafette that took the show that night.
Yeah. Sophomore running back Jamario Clements. I saw him in the preseason game for his Trine, man. The kid's big, strong, he can run. I mean, like I said, you saw him in action Friday night.
Yeah, I was on the field with him Friday night, and that kid is a stud. There's a lot of kids that are going kind of under the radar that's having some great season. It's a kid at Temple, man, that people need to pay attention to, Philip Johnson. Now, let me tell you, Philip Johnson, daddy was Pop Johnson, who was a legend at Villa Rica. Philip Johnson, a week or two ago, we talked about, had over 300 yards rushing. Temple is undefeated.
Yep, 2-0. Heading to Mount Zion this weekend.
And they 20, 30 minutes apart?
Yeah, 20, 30 minutes apart. I've seen some predictions that have Mount Zion winning that game. You know, Mount Zion is the defending 6A champion. Temple, you know, they struggled last year, so I think some of that plays into it. But, I mean, it's going to be hard to stop that Temple Tiger offense, man. They're averaging over 300 yards on the ground right now.
Y'all remember Lil Pop, man. We're going to call him Lil Pop. Lil Pop. That's Pop Johnson's son, Philip, man, and he's a stud. And college coaches need to be wary. You need to be paying attention to this kid down there at Temple that is.
They have a big-time defensive end down there, too, Justin Isler.
Yeah. I think he was number 5. I had him officiated his game right here against Pepperell in a scrimmage, preseason scrimmage. And he had a pretty good game. Cartersville ran through Luella 47-0. Cass, they got them a victory Friday over Forsyth Central. They had a safety, a young sophomore transfer from Calhoun that had a 2-interception game. I think he scored a touchdown. He played corner. I think his name is Santino Johnson. Santino Jones.
Yeah. Tino, they call him Tino.
Tino, they call him Tino.
Tino Jones.
Yeah, he had a big game against Forsyth Central. Cass is in the winning side. Cass went 2-8 last year, or
possibly 1-9.
Yeah, so Cass is off to a good start. Now, we're gonna unveil the Northwest Georgia football Power 16 poll. Now, Northwest Georgia football consists of 6A, Dalton's region, which we really just talk about Dalton because Dalton really represents Northwest Georgia. You have Rome's region that has a lot of Northwest Georgia teams. You have Cedartown region with Cedartown, Cartersville, Central Carrollton. 6-4A, Pickens, Lafayette, Ridgeland, 6 AAA, Calhoun, 7 AA, Rockmart, and then you have 6A, 1A with Darlington. And 5 AA too. We represent some teams in 5 AA with Temple and Bremen. So we have come up with the top 16 teams in the area. And Mr. Lawrence is going to do the undubious pleasure of giving you right now, and we're going to update this every week on the show, on the poll, on our Twitter, Facebook. Who's the number 1 team right now in Northwest Georgia?
I think to make this fair, we should do this in a draft form.
So we're gonna draft?
We'll draft. I'll pick number 1, you pick second, we'll go down the line until we get our 16.
Can I trade you some picks?
No.
Not gonna work in this draft. Okay. All right,
so
cool.
We're gonna flip for number 1, or you gonna let me have it?
You got number 1, because you had a worse season than I did.
Worse season, all right. I gotta go with the Dalton Catamounts. Until someone can slow them down, I gotta put Dalton at number 1.
Woo! You got Dalton number 1. Dalton dismantled Northwest Whitfield a couple of weeks ago. They got a big game this weekend with Sequoia. But right now, Dalton Catamounts are number 1 team. My number 2 team, Rockmart Yellow Jackets. Rockmart with Nunu and Juke Boozer, Reed Couch. Those guys are off to an undefeated start. They got Heard County this week. Does Rockmart still have enough to win the state championship?
Absolutely. I think they have more to win the state championship this year than they did last year.
Can I trade up in the draft, man? Can I get a trade? The commissioner is about to come on. Can I get a trade?
All right, trade.
I'm going to trade my number 4 and 6 pick for your number 3.
All right, go ahead. 4 and 6 with your 3.
So I lost a draft pick right there. So the number 3 team in our Northwest Georgia Power 16 poll, Calhoun Yellow Jackets. Calhoun Yellow Jackets. You saw it on Twitter today. Number 1 ranked defense in Northwest Georgia, and they have a big game this weekend in Sonoraville.
Number 4, Cartersville Purple Hurricanes.
Yes. T-Webb, man. I'm telling you, T-Webb, Mr. Jennings, Mr. Benham, Devontae Ross, they got some studs. And the crazy thing about Cartersville, most of Cartersville's players are sophomores and juniors.
Yep.
So Cartersville going, as they call it, Cartersville U, they're going to be around for a minute. I get a number 5 and 6
5.
pick,
You get
sir.
number 5.
Number 5, the Darlington Tigers. Darlington has defeated, they defeated Coosa, they defeated Sonoraville, they defeated Pepperell. 38-28 this past week with Sonoraville. Most points they've given up all season, but Sonoraville is a high-powered team. Hey, man, let me tell y'all something. Sonoraville has something going on up there. Brady Lackey might be the best quarterback in Northwest Georgia right now. I mean, you got T-Webb, you got Griffin Brewster, but Brady Lackey is getting it done for Sonoraville. But I got Darlington 5, and I'm going with number 6. You'll see them next week. Carrollton Trojans. Carrollton is undefeated. Mikos Todd and company down there, Carrollton. Kevin Switt, the Clemson commit. I got Carrollton in at number 6.
So you got Carrollton in at number 6, and the team they're playing next week, I got to put them at number 7.
We're going to put a 1-1 Rome team over an undefeated Heritage Catoosa?
Rome Wolf, number 7.
Hey, Rome, you still one of the top 5A teams in the state. But these next 2 weeks, Rome, we're going to find out about you. A lot of talent in Rome has moved on to the college ranks. You still got a lot of talent there, but we're going to find out how good you are this week and next week when Kell and Carrollton come to town. Because typically, after these 2 games, Rome's schedule is just it's down here from there as far as talent-wise.
Right.
No disrespect to Villa Rica, East Paulding, Woodland, Cass. You're some good programs, but Kell and Carrollton and Rome are the cream of the crop in 7-5A. So we got Rome at 7. I'm going to Heritage Catoosa at 8, who will be here Friday night to take on these Pepperell Dragons. Heritage has a big-time receiver. They got a nice quarterback, Cade McAllister. He's a Cincinnati commit, big-time lineman. Heritage might be the team to beat, man, in 6-4A.
So we're number 9. I'm going to go number 9. The team they're going to play right here Friday night, Pepperell Dragons.
It's going to be a good game. I mean, that's going to be a good one.
When you look at these 2 teams, they mirror each other. They both love to throw the ball. They can run the ball, play defense. It's going to be a heck of a game.
At number 10, the Bowden Red Devils. Bowden is a team out of Out of 6-1A, Gage Stevens this past week rushed for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bowden is a team that's going to contend for that region title when it comes to, because, you know, on the other side, you got North Cobb Christian and Fellowship Christian and all the other schools.
Yep.
So Walker, Mount Pisgah, and Mount Perrin.
You know, and the one team that we don't talk about in 6AA that's not in our coverage area is North Cobb Christian, and they haven't been beat either.
Yeah, they got a good program. I had that game a year or so ago. North Cobb Christian, they're a good football program.
That's a heck of a schedule those guys have for the rest of the year.
They got a huge team. Who's number 11?
Number 11. I got to go with the defending 6-4A champions, Pickens Dragons.
We're gonna put them in there. They just lost to.
They just lost to number 9, number 10 team. You know, they're still pretty solid. You know, the quarterback is a heck of a player, C.J. Stretcher.
Okay.
You know, I think they'll be competing for that 6-4A title as the season winds down.
You think they have enough to beat Heritage?
I think it's going to be a good game.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is draft. You know, I mean, sometimes GMs get fired for who they pick. So I don't know. At number 12, kind of surprising to say this, Harrison County Rebels. Harrison County has a massive offensive line. They came in and dominated Armurchie, which Armurchie is a program that's still on the cusp. Armurchie, like we mentioned last week, Coach Jeremy Green is one of the most passionate coaches in Northwest Georgia when it comes to his kids and his program, and he's doing it the right way by building it through the youth part. So Armurchie Indians, you had some injuries, you had some struggle. Keep your head up, because we believe in JG. That's what we call him here on the show, JG.
JG.
Coach Green, they're going to get it together out of Armurchie. But Harrison County, not saying they're going to beat Calhoun, but the game is going to be, I think it could be competitive with Calhoun.
I think as it stands right now, they are the number 2 team in 6 AAA right now. I mean,
okay.
So we're at number 13?
Yeah, we're at number 13.
I'm gonna throw a wild card in there.
Watch this, y'all. A man with an Alabama hat, watch it. I'm going to turn my back on it. Watch it.
I'm going to go number 13, the 2-0 Murray County Indians.
Do y'all see what I mean? Y'all see what I mean? You got to explain that, man. You got to explain it.
I like the way they play. Have they played the first 2 games? They got 3 guys that have gone over 100 yards on each of the first 2 games. I think they're going to surprise some people in 6 AAA this year.
I actually have Murray County Friday against LFO, so I'm going to call you after the game, let you know since they rank. But Murray County, man, Murray County was kind of dismantled some years back when they split and kids went to North Murray. A lot of the better kids went to North Murray, but they have changed that program around tremendously at Murray County. And Murray County may be a team that can contend for some playoff spot. Real quick, while I'm thinking about some North Georgia football up there, Adam Souter last week for Southeast Whitfield against Cahula Creek, 385 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, most passing yards in this area this year. Shout out to you, Adam.
And it was the most passing yards in the history of Southeast Whitfield.
And he's a
senior.
He's a senior. College coaches, pay attention. Adam Souter is a kid that you need to have on your radar. 385 yards passing. Number 14, he picked Murray. I'm going with Christian Heritage. If you notice, man, we got a lot of teams in 6-1A that are in this poll, and 6-1A is a strong region. But Christian Heritage has always been one of those steady programs, always finds a way to get it done. And I am tickled to death to see a Christian Heritage versus Tryon, a Christian Heritage versus Dalton as we start rolling into October with some of those region games. A lot of these games now they're gonna get more important. It matters now with a lot of these games. But Christian Heritage coming at number 14 in our Power 4. Who you got? And since I gave you the right, you let me get those 5 and 6 pick. I'm gonna give you 15 and 16. I lost 16. I lost my last 2 picks.
I'm gonna go with a homer pick at number 15.
Watch this, y'all. Watch this.
Homer pick. You know what's exciting is actually I'm gonna tell you my 15 and 16 because they're gonna play each other next Friday night. So we'll figure it out. Temple Tigers, number 15.
I agree. I definitely agree. Now I'm agree with that pick. That was a good pick.
The Northwest Whitfield Bruins at number 16. They're gonna match up next Friday night. I mean, you got 2A versus what? 4A.
We
find out what it's all about.
We forgetting about Gordon Lee.
We
didn't get Gordon Lee. We didn't get Gilman there.
You know, those guys are sitting at 2-1 right now. They had their chance to get up in the poll. You know, they got some games ahead of them where they can climb in.
So if all these teams right here was in their own little region or area and we had to play or get a Final Four, who would be the Final Four teams in this region right here or this area?
Truly, right now, I think it would be Dalton, Rome, Cartersville, and Rockmart if they all played each other.
I think it would be Cartersville, Calhoun, Rome, and either Rockmart or Darlington. I think Darlington now with Tristan Wright and Patrick Shelley, they have weapons on the outside to go along with Brewster and Rogers and a massive offensive line. I think Darlington could contend with Rockmart. I'm not saying win, but they could contend with Rockmart. So that was our first Northwest Georgia Power 16 poll. We're going to release it every week on the show. We're going to release it on Twitter. We're going to release it on the Rome Elite Sports Center page. We had some interesting picks then, but hey, that's why that's why we do it here. So now we get to the time of the show that I know all y'all like. It's our high school Friday night predictions. And Lawrence, we're starting out with the two Carroll County battles. We're going to talk about back to back. Two Carroll County battles between Temple and Mount Zion and Carrollton and Villa Rica.
Temple at Mount Zion, you know, I think I said something about it earlier. I think Mount Zion might be a little down this year. Temple averaging 300 yards a game on the ground in the first two games. It's going to be hard for the Eagles to stop the Tigers this Friday night.
Yeah, Temple.
I give the edge to Temple.
Yeah, I like Temple by 2 or 3 touchdowns in that game. One of the oldest rivalries in Northwest Georgia, probably one of the oldest rivalries in the state. Carrollton Trojans and Villa Rica, the Wildcats. These two teams are literally 15, 20 minutes apart. Carrollton is a top 5 team in 5A. Villa Rica trying to get their respect. Villa Rica has a nice program. I love that purple and gold. They got a nice program. Carrollton and Villa Rica Friday night.
I think Carrollton wins. I don't know if they'll win as big as I would have thought 2 weeks ago, because from what I hear, they didn't look super impressive in the first half last week. But maybe they're saving something for Rome next week.
Yeah, we'll see. This game is definitely region play with Villa Rica, Rome and Villa Rica. Carrollton and Villa Rica, and I like Carrollton as well. I still think Villa Rica is a playoff team in 7-5A, but you know when you're going with the cream of the crop with Rome, Kell, and Carrollton, you know it's tough knocking them off that perch, man.
Oh yeah.
So I like Carrollton as well. Stone Mountain versus Northwest Whitfield.
I think Northwest Whitfield wins by 2 touchdowns. I think Stone Mountain is a better team than they were last year. That came up there and got blown out. You know, they're averaging close to 30 points a game the last 2 weeks, and I think they'll give Northwest Whitfield a pretty good game.
I like Northwest Whitfield as well. I think Northwest Whitfield running clock on Stone Mountain. I think that'll be a good game. This is a game, man, it's going to be a pretty interesting game, because when you think of Region 6, 6A, it's kind of similar to Region 7, 5A with like some teams that's kind of here and other teams here in the middle. But in Region 6, 6A, you have Harrison, you have Creekview and Allatoona. Allatoona has moved up in the rankings in 6A. Creekview was a team that made it all the way to the quarterfinals last year. Harrison is always a team that's potentially in the running. This Dalton-Sequoia game, even though it's September, it could come back to haunt somebody in November when it's playoff time. Dalton and Sequoia.
Yeah, I know it's early in the season, but I think whoever comes out on the short end of this one does not make the playoffs.
Yeah, this is a huge game. This is a real big game for Dalton.
I like Dalton by 21 until somebody stops Gibbs. I'm gonna go with Dalton.
Gibbs has 12 touchdowns in 2 games for the Dalton Catamounts. I like Dalton too over Sequoia. I think Dalton is going to be able to contend with Allatoona and Harrison and Creekview in that region this year. Adairsville and Kahula Creek. This is another region game, Region 6 AAA game. Adairsville, Kahula Creek.
Yeah, you know, if I hadn't looked at the stats, I would have said Adairsville right off the top of the bat without even thinking about it. But you know, Adairsville is only averaging scoring 7 points a game right now. I mean, it's early, only 2 games into the season, and they're going to have to score a lot more than that up there to beat the Colts. I'm going to give the edge to Adairsville, but it's going to be close. I'm
going to Adairsville too. I think Adairsville will come out with this region win over Kahula Creek, 14-7.
Yeah, I like that one.
Another region game, which I cannot comment on the score because I will be officiating the game. I won't have any say-so in this game. It'll be all Mr. Lawrence. Murray County will be traveling to Lakeview, Fort Oglethorpe to take on LFO.
Yep. This is a big game for both these schools too. You know, if they want to make that playoff in 6 AAA, this is a game both teams have to win. And I think Murray County might have enough to give LFO a good game up there. And man, I hate to go against my number 13 pick in my poll I just put out, but I'm gonna go Lakeview, Fort Oglethorpe, 15, Murray County 14.
Whew, they're a good game. I love good games. I love officiating good games. So that's going to be a nice contest on Friday. Another Region 6 AAA game. Ringgold and North Murray. I saw you highlighted on the Twitter page earlier. What is the update with the stud, Ladd McConkey? Is he playing? Is he hurt? What's going on?
I don't think anybody knows if either of the starting quarterbacks are playing in this game. Kyle White for Ringgold, he got hurt against Heritage 2 weeks ago and missed the second half. And I've heard reports that both of them are going to play Friday night, and then I've seen other articles that say they're both going to sit Friday night. But North Murray had a freshman start Friday night. Seth Griffin. He is the younger brother of a Missouri lineman that played there last year, Griffin.
Okay. Was it Luke Griffin?
Luke Griffin, yeah. 6'3", 170-pound freshman. Yeah. Threw for 250 against Model. I mean, so if Ladd has to sit for another week before the Calhoun game, I think they're in pretty good hands.
Yeah, I like North Murray too, man. I think North Murray.
They got that back too. Dante Tidwell. That's been a beast on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
offense and
he's a stud. I like North Murray by 3 touchdowns. I actually think North Murray is up there when it comes with Calhoun. I'm not saying they can beat Calhoun, but I think North Murray is a team that could maybe contend for a home playoff game. Which, like you said, this is a region playoff game. McNair and Cartersville, do we really have to discuss?
Blowout.
Yeah, Cartersville, y'all will be home by 10 o'clock. Cartersville, 53, McNair, 7. Interesting game right here, man. Cass and Woodland, Battle of Bartow County.
Battle of Bartow County. I don't even know what to think about this game. You know, I was looking at it, trying to pick it, and, you know, both teams surprised me last week. I thought Cass would lose. I thought Woodlands would win easy. It went the other way around.
That's why we played the game.
Yeah. Cass has a good defense, doesn't score a whole lot. Woodlands has a great offense, gave up a lot of points last week to East Hall. I'm going to go Cass by field goal.
Okay. I'm going to go against you. As my boy Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. I'm going to go with the upset here. Well, it might not be an upset, but I'm going to go against the grain on this one. I'm going Woodland. I think Woodland with DeMarcus Williams in the backfield, they're going to pound and pound and pound Cass. I'm going Woodland 21-7 over Cass.
Okay.
Battle of Bartow County. So
Bartow County.
I like Woodland in that game. Sandy Creek at Ridgeland.
Sandy Creek, number 5 ranked team in 4A. I mean, this is the 3rd straight top 5 team the Panthers have faced to start the season. And I'm going to give 4 touchdowns Sandy Creek.
Yeah, Sandy Creek, Cartersville, and Troop, all in the same region. And all 3 teams could win the state championship. They all have legitimate chances of winning 4A.
The bright news for the Panthers, though, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, they get in the region play after this week, so, you know, who knows after this week. But Sandy Creek in a rout. I like Sandy Creek in a rout over Ridgeland. An interesting game that before the season, you wouldn't have thought that this is a must-win, or you wouldn't have thought that this game would be very critical. But a game that is kind of snuck under the radar some because of the records or whatever. Cedartown Bulldogs at the Bremen Blue Devils. Bremen defeated Cedartown last year. This is game 2 of 4 consecutive road games for Cedartown. As you know, Cedartown lost their star quarterback at the beginning of the season, Taji Hudson. Get well, Taji. Continue to get well. He's an East Carolina commit. Does Cedartown have enough talent to go in here and defeat Bremen in Bremen?
Absolutely. I think, you know, I got to looking at the stats before I came out. It's been 2014 since either of these teams started a season 0-3, but unfortunately,
somebody got to do it.
Somebody's got to. I think Cedartown wins in a close one, 17-14.
I think if Cedartown went back to the drawing board, they had a bye week this past week. They have Mr. MJ Holiday at quarterback. You still got one of the best running backs in the state, Kobe Pryor. You got one of the best upcoming players, sophomore C.J. Washington. You got a plethora of talent there with the Cedartown Bulldogs. I think this bye week has helped Cedartown get ready for region play. I actually think Cedartown will be 2-2 when they go into Cartersville September 27th. I like Cedartown by 2 touchdowns over Bremen. Kale is here at Barron Stadium, Rome, Friday night. This is one of the 2 games that Rome we always circle the Kale and the Carrollton game because it's their 2 biggest region games. Rome and Kale Friday night.
Rome 21, Kale 7.
Woo! Okay. Kale does have a strong defense. I don't think Lassiter is a team. If I'm not mistaken, I think Lassiter is a 7A squad that
hasn't scored a point all year.
Yeah, I mean Lassiter is Lassiter. Lassiter hasn't been good since I think Hudson Mason played there at Lassiter. But Kale, you're gonna have your hands full Friday night. Rome has 3 or 4 running backs: Nick Burge, E.J. Burks Lackey, Mr. Blackwell, and Trey Lawrence. Listen to this interesting stat about Trey Lawrence. This is crazy. Trey Lawrence, up until this season as a senior, it's his first year starting. Because Rome has had so much success these last 3 years, do you know Trey Lawrence in his part-time duty is 3rd all-time in rushing touchdowns at Rome?
Oh, wow.
And this is his first season starting. That just shows you how good Rome has been. And he's already over 50 touchdowns in his high school career.
I showed you, too, how many times they were leading 49-0 at halftime.
Exactly. And he would come in with 2 or 3 touchdowns. He had like 14, 15 touchdowns last year. And he was, like, in the backup role. But Rome, I like Rome against Kale. We'll talk about Rome and Carrollton next week. But I like Rome against Kale by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think Mr. Caleb Ehlert going to have a coming out party. I like Rome by 3 touchdowns. And that leads us to our Northwest Georgia football game of the week. Heritage Catoosa, 3-0. I don't know the last time I've seen Heritage Catoosa or heard about Heritage Catoosa 3-0. Pepper 1-1. The Pepper Dragons with 2 great dual threat quarterbacks in Shannon White, Gage Moses. Who's starting, we don't know. They got talent with Peyton Rose, Trey Robertson. Pepperell, Heritage Catoosa. Lawrence, is Heritage going to leave this field Friday night undefeated?
I'm going to go with Pepperell Dragons. In a heck of a game down to the wire. I think Pepperell is strong enough on defense to shut Heritage down. And with this newfound offense Pepperell's found, I'm gonna give it 21-18 Pepperell.
Heritage, like I mentioned, they got some big time players. They have a big time receiver, Mr. Sam Rudolph. But I don't think, with the exception of maybe Juke Boozer, I don't think there's a better receiver in Northwest Georgia than Mr. Peyton Rose. Peyton Rose is a heck of an athlete. He's a standout basketball player. He's a standout baseball player, and he's a great student. Peyton Rose is getting some looks from some FCS schools, some D2 schools. He definitely can play at the next level. Doesn't matter who throws in the ball. I can go out there and get my quarterback uniform on and throw it up to him. I want to see Pepper get a more consistent running game. I want to see them pound the ball, when you get in that 4 or 5 minute offense in the 4th quarter. I think they can do it. I like Pepper in this contest, though. I think Pepper will defeat Heritage. You said 21-18. I'm going to go, Pepper will put up 28. They'll put up 28 points. It'll be 28-20 over Heritage. I mean, this is like, next to the Rome Kale game, this is a big time game, man. I mean,
I think the matchup out here that's worth paying for on Friday night is Sam Randolph versus Peyton Rhodes.
2 big time players, man.
They're gonna be going head to head all night. They both play offense, defense. They're gonna be matched up, trying to shut each other down. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Really, man, this is a This is a big game. And I know we talk about region games that are big. You know, Pepperell will play Rockmore later, Chattooga. But for Pepperell to be on that next level when we're talking about state championship type team, this is the kind of game that you need. And the same for Heritage. Heritage needs this game to see if they can make it to that next level, because each classification has 6 to 8 teams legitimately every year can win a state championship. It doesn't matter how the cards fall. You know, for an example, in 7A, you know it's going to be your McKeechans, your Colquitt's, your Parkview. You know, in your 6A, your Valdosta's and Lee counties. You have maybe 10 teams at the most that have a legitimate chance to win a state title in each class.
Right.
So, Pepperell, are you one of those 8 to 10 teams? Heritage, are you one of those 8 to 10 teams in 4A? We'll see Friday night. What game you going to Friday night?
I'm hoping to get off work and come here to Heritage Pepperell. That's the game I'm looking forward to.
And like I say, I will be up in LFO, Murray County LFO. Y'all get out there to a high school football game, man. Support these kids.
I gotta throw in one game that we missed.
Please don't talk about Alabama.
I gotta throw in one game.
Do not talk about Alabama and South Carolina, Lawrence. I will walk off the air.
My home team, the Armurch Indians, traveling to Trine.
Armurch and Trine. Sorry, I don't know how we mentioned that. What you got? I'm gonna let you have that one.
You know, Trine.
I thought you were gonna talk about Alabama, and I really was gonna walk off the air.
Yeah. You know, it's going to be hard for the Indians to go up there to Trine and get a win. And, you know, I know they'll go up there and play them tough. But, you know, Trine shut down Dade this past weekend, held them to under 2 yards of carry with a Webb up there. And unless you throw the ball, I don't think anybody beats Trine this year. There's nobody in 6A that's just going to run the ball 50 times and beat Trine.
So you like Trine?
I like Trine.
Yeah, I like Trine too over Armurch. I think Armurch, like I say, there's still a program that's on the come up. But I like Armurch. I mean, I like Trine big over Armurch. But like I say, Armurch Indian people continue to be patient with Coach Green. They're gonna turn that thing around eventually. You know, I'm not saying they're gonna turn it around and win a state championship right away like their state championship cheerleading teams. But Armurch they're gonna turn it around. I believe in Coach Green. He's a good young coach, good fiery coach that is ready to take it to the next level. So that ends Friday night in Northwest Georgia. Send your highlights so we can add them to the show. Northwest Georgia Football 2 at gmail.com. Yep. All your highlights on Friday night, send it so we can add clips on the show. Do we know where we're going to be next week?
My guess, if Rome wins Friday night, we'll be at Barron Stadium for Rome Carrollton. Even though it's in Carrollton.
Yeah. I was really thinking, you know, I'm throwing this idea out. Now, you can walk off if you want to.
Right.
But I was thinking maybe let's go, never mind. I just tell you later.
Actually, I mean, it kind of depends on what happens Friday night. If North Murray wins, Calhoun wins, you got North Murray Calhoun next weekend also.
That'll be a big game too. That'll be definitely a big game. Before we go, Unity Christian is a team. They play 8-man football. A lot of people don't know, but they have a kid out there, man. Drew King. He scores. He is the Michael Vick of 8-man football. Y'all remember that, Unity Christian. So we'll be somewhere next week. Hey, people, listen. We would like you to be interactive with us. Come be on the show, predict games. We would like to come out to your high schools, your middle school, JV games.
Pee-wee games.
Pee-wee games, your marbles. Lawrence is the national marble champ. He won a marble championship. He has a trophy.
I can play some cornhole.
With a big marble. Yeah. He finished second in cornhole with the guy that eat all the hot dogs. What's his name? Yeah. That's it. That was his partner. Whatever. But anyway, for Michael Atwater, Rome Elite Sports Center, check us out on Facebook, NorthwestGeorgiaFootball.us, Lawrence Morgan. We'll see you somewhere next week.